Have you ever found yourself stuck at the crossroads thinking, is this task hard or easy? Is this project going to be difficult or will it just be good to get done? It's a common mental trap that can slow us down and sap our motivation. But what if I told you that the most successful leaders never waste time on the question? They focus on what needs to be done, regardless of how difficult it may seem. Today, we're going to dive into why this shift in mindset is so critical. Welcome to the Executive Pill podcast, where I share and we share the actionable strategies for top leaders. I'm your host, Alex D. Tremble, CEO of GPS Leadership Solutions. And over the years, I've interviewed hundreds of Fortune 500 executives and government executives. What sets the most successful part, though, is their ability to bypass the hard or easy debate and focus on what needs to be done. And today I'm here to share with you why adopting this mindset can be a game changer in your life and in your organization. The key takeaways today is simple. Stop labeling tasks or things hard or difficult. Instead, focus on what needs to be done and how to achieve it. Stick around because at the end, I'm going to share with you a really powerful tool that I recently learned that I definitely have implemented into my coaching and the trainings that we offer here at GPS Leadership Solutions. So again, this is the Executive Pill podcast where we help ambitious leaders find clarity and confidence in their leadership journey. If you're ready to transform challenges into opportunities, you are in the right place. So let's start with breaking down why focusing on necessity over difficulty is so powerful. The first piece is, I'm going to tell you, you need to shift from the problem to the solution. When you stop labeling tasks and things as hard or easy, you remove the mental barrier that slows you down. Instead, focus on priming yourself and your mind to find solutions. A real quick scenario, a while back, I was speaking to one of my coaching clients about a very important decision that needed to be made for the organization. And it was interesting because as we were having this conversation, the answer was actually pretty simple and pretty straightforward. However, they kept mulling over how hard it was going to be. Like if they needed to take a step forward because, man, I just don't know if we can do it. And is this going to be hard? It's going to a lot of times when you have to put into this. And I finally just had to ask the question, why does all that matter? And the person kind of looked at me. I was like, well, no, seriously, I'm not trying to be an a-hole or anything. And everyone know I have a really close relationship with my clients, so I can ask these questions. I said, why does it matter whether it's hard or not? Seriously, here's another question for you. If you don't change, if you don't take this step, if things stay the way they are, what will be the outcome? Person had to think about it. Well, not good, obviously. So it's not a question of whether it's hard or not. It's a question of whether it needs to get done or not. And if you stop focusing on whether it's hard or not, and that's an emotional thing, it doesn't matter. What's practical, what's real is, does it need to happen or not? If it needs to happen, then the question is, how do we make it happen? Not whether it needs to happen at this point. And it's so crazy. Once that mindset shift, once there was a shift from, think about, well, how hard and difficult it's going to be, immediately the person said, got it. Okay, we got to get this done. They immediately started thinking about solutions and who they needed to bring to the table and what resources they needed, what they already had and what relationships they already had. And we could focus on moving forward. And they were able to do it very successfully, actually. They brought the team on board. They explained the why this needed to be done, what the ultimate outcome needed to happen, and let the team kind of come up with their ideas and strategies on how to make that happen. And it was clicking. All they had to do was get over that initial hump of, is this going to be hard? I mean, how many of us right now have decisions in our life that we know we need to make? We know we'd be in a better situation if we change something, but we're so focused on, is this going to be hard? Or, oh, this is going to be hard. That question is useless question. Does it need to happen or not? And if it needs to happen, Make it happen. Figure out a way to make it happen. So, my actionable tip for this section is next time you face a challenge, ask yourself what needs to be done versus is this hard? Don't even start with the is this, don't even try to even contemplate whether this is hard. Does it need to be done? If the answer is yes, then let's get it done. So, the second piece I want to bring up is growth through challenges. Remember that growth happens in the face of challenges, not because there's a lack of challenge. If everything is easier, not growing, embracing difficult tasks can lead to significant personal and professional development. Look, and I talk a lot about this. There's a number of talks I give that I bring this up, but here's the reality. I am not a gumdrops and rainbows and lollipops kind of guy. I don't like to stay in the realm of emotion and inspiration things. Now, yes, the way I speak and I carry myself, yes, does tend to motivate people, inspire people. That's not where I'm focused though, because those emotions are fleeting. You will feel inspired today, but tomorrow you're back to the grind, right? So it's not about emotions, it's not about motivation, because emotions end. I'm telling people, I always tell people, focus on automation, not motivation. Don't motivation is fickle, right? Motivation is an emotion. Automation, coming with a plan and strategies, doing it, knowing you have to do it because you have to do it. That's where the real key to success lies. So, look, here's a reality, okay? A straight up reality that none of you all can question. Well, you can question, but you'd be wrong. Um, I like you to think for yourself. When was the last time you had a dark time? Like things were really challenging. Things were really hard. You weren't sure if you were going to make it through emotionally, physically, professionally. Like it was just hard. I know each and every one of you have a time like that in your life. There has always been a time that was so hard we weren't sure we were going to make it. Now, here's the reality. You made it. You want to know how I know you made it? Because you're listening to this today. Whatever hard circumstance it was, you found the gumption, you found the strength, you found the strategy, you found whatever you needed to do to overcome that, and you are here today. That is factual evidence. That is data telling me and telling you that you are stronger than what you think you are. You have the ability to overcome challenges if you don't give up, if you keep pushing and working to find a way through. I love this quote I heard a while back. It says, times don't stay hard. Nothing stays hard. Either you quit, in which it is no longer hard, or you keep pushing through it, and either you become stronger, you become harder, or period. That's it. There's either you stop Either you stop doing it, so the hard goes away. You keep pushing through it, or so you become harder, or because you become harder, it becomes easier. But times do not stay hard. We get hard or we quit. And because you are here today, I know that you got harder, you got tougher, you got stronger, you overcame, and you can do that in the future. So even as you push through situations and you're like, oh my God, yes, this is not uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. Yes, it is. And you're growing, you're becoming stronger, and you have stories and motivation to share with so many people as they go through their life as well. So again, push through. Don't let hard tasks or hard opportunities or hard struggles keep you from getting to where you know you need to be. Now, again, the action step for this section is I want you to reflect on past challenges you overcome and how they've contributed to your growth. Write them down. Keep them. I actually utilize this in my one of my books, The Relationships That Work. I have a copy over here somewhere. Relationships That Work. And I tell people, seriously, a great exercise that not everyone can do, but it is a great exercise. It's just literally reflecting back on your life and seeing, kind of identifying all of those really, really difficult, deep and dark and hard times, writing them down. And then when you write them down, One, it's a reminder of how much you've overcome. But two, it's actually really cool. I promise you, you can trace every good thing that has happened to you in your life back to a troubling and dark time. If you wouldn't have gone through this dark time, this troubling time, this difficult time, this painful time, this uncomfortable time, if you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't have achieved X. You wouldn't have met your wife. You wouldn't have met your husband. You wouldn't have got this job. You wouldn't have had this skill. You wouldn't have had something. There's always a link between the difficult times and the happy times in our life. There's always that link. Man, okay. So here's my third one. I always give you all three. Okay. So I want you to remember you need to balance reality with positivity. Now, while it's important to focus on the solution, which is something I preach, acknowledging the difficulty of a task can build empathy and trust within your team. It shows that you understand the challenges that they are facing and that you're there to support them. Now, honestly, I know this may sound like I'm talking at both sides of your mouth, but this is something I've struggled with myself over the years. I'll tell you. So I'm a fixer. When companies bring me in, people bring me in to lead teams, organizations, and efforts, it's because they need something fixed. They need something implemented. And so when people bring me in, I'm me. I'm this happy, chill, relaxed guy. There's almost nothing that kind of gets me reared up because I just have this belief that I don't care about hard. It's if it's got to get done, we're gonna figure it out. There's no choice but to figure it out. And this the way I lead teams, people really like because I can keep everyone engaged, motivated, and confident that we can move forward. But I also found that there are people who 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 didn't care so much for my style. And when I dove into it, I asked the questions and did some personal assessment. It wasn't because they didn't like how I led the team or how I kept us focused on what we can do versus what we can't do. Is that because I was always focused on, hey, whatever challenge comes, cool, we'll figure it out. Oh, wow, we're going to have a great story to share after we finish this one. I just keep us moving forward. They would say, well, does Alex even understand how hard this is? Does Alex understand how difficult this is? I'm uncomfortable. I'm in pain right now. Like this is a challenging time for me. And so I realize that there are times, I now realize this for myself, there are times that I have to intentionally stop myself. Again, for myself, I'm not worried about the heart. But I realize not everyone is me. Not everyone is prepped like you and I right now. Not everyone understands that worrying about hard or easy is not important. Not everyone understands it. So you have a team around you that sometimes you do have to say, hey, everyone, I know we're going through this challenge. I know it's uncomfortable. Hey, can you share with me what's impacted you in this change? Wow. What are you going through right now? How are you feeling? Asking those questions, engaging that allows people to feel like they're being heard. Now, again, I would always love to get everyone to a place where they say, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but I'm growing because of it. But not everyone's there. So if you're leading a team, it is important to make sure that you're asking the question at times, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And showing people that you are taking the time to understand they are going through a challenging time because it's just part of the pieces of leading a team. So I encourage you for this section, communicate openly about the challenges and empathize your confidence in overcoming them. So yes, let people know, yes, we understand this is challenging, this is hard, it's difficult, and I have confidence in you. I have confidence in us that we will figure this out. We're going to create a communication structure, a pipeline to make sure that as things come up, we will come up with solutions and fix them. But I know that we can do this. Man, so the last little bonus tip I wanted to share with you today is actually a thought from a guy who I really appreciate. His name's Alex Hormozy. And it's not just because his name's Alex, though I am factually saying right now that all Alexes are pretty amazing. There's some research out there about it somewhere, I'm sure. He basically says there's four types of people, which I really, really like. There are the people who think it can be done and I can do it. Those people just have a mindset that unless There's a law in physics that says this thing cannot be done. It can be done. I just don't know how to do it yet, but I can figure it out. If I work hard enough, if I work with the right people, I bring the right resources, I can figure this out and we will get this done. Those people are amazing to have on your team. The second type of person is, well, if someone else has done it, then I can do it too. Those people are great, right? They don't have to be the first person to run a 4-minute mile. The first person to run a 4-minute mile, that there is no example that it could be done. No one had done it for such a long time. But once they did it, literally like 28 people the next year did it because they said, oh wow, hold up. If that can be done, then I can do it. I mean, if you look at the AI situation right now, and we all thought from an American standpoint, Western standpoint, that AI needed to have, you had to spend all this money and have all these data centers and so on and so forth. And now there's a company out of China that says, well, you didn't have all that. We just did it. And now everyone's like, oh, wow, hold up. If they can do it without that many resources, they can do it without those data centers, then maybe we can do it. Let's change our way of thinking to make sure we get this done. So again, that's the second group of people. Again, great people to have around you. They're gonna make sure that things get done regardless. Okay, all you gotta do is show them it can be done and say, hey, look, this person did it, this company did it. The third type of person is, it can't be done, and I can prove it can't be done. These are the type of people who are, yes, they're naysayers because they're saying, well, this is not possible. And I'm going to prove to you why it's not possible. I know that we can't overcome this challenge. And I'm going to do your little training. I'm going to do these little program projects, but I know it's not going to work. These people, yes, can be difficult. Yes, they absolutely can be difficult. And they can be amazing too. Because if you have those people who are willing to say, and I'll prove it. I'm going to work towards proving it. If you can just change their mindset from it can't be done to it can be done, and they'll say, okay, and I'm going to prove it. All you got to do is shift one little thing, just provide them with enough information, enough data, enough experiences, and you can actually switch their mindset on this. And it's almost like asking the question, do you want to be right or do you want to be successful? Right? If you're saying it can't be done, you're saying it can't be done. Well, other people are doing it. We've done it. They've done it. Ultimately, we need to reach success in this team, in this office. And you know what? Either you can be right and say, oh, well, right, couldn't be done. Or you can be successful. We can figure out how to get it done. If you can make that switch for them, again, key members of the team, you love them. Awesome. Okay, the fourth type, though, is it can't be done, or it can be done, but it can't be done for me. No, not for us. And that is letting people know that, oh, well, other people can do it. Other companies can do it. Other organizations can do it. Other teams can do it, but that would never work for us. It would never work for me because I'm special, because we're special. Our industry is special. My team is special. I just can't, it would never work for me. And those people are more difficult because they're the ones who, because they're so special, they're just refusing to work towards it. They refuse to implement the ideas and the training and the exercise and the advice that you give them. Um, so those individuals are a little more, much more challenging, just because they refuse to put the energy and effort into it because they are special. Their situation is special. And so again, this whole talk today was about why it's not good to focus on hard, just focus on what needs to get done. And if you have these different people around you, kind of look at them, look at who's around you and see what they are. Are they the people who it can be done, period, and I can do it? Are they other people like, oh, well, shoot, if they can do it, then I can do it? Or do you have people around you who are saying, well, it can't be done, I'm gonna prove it. And so in those situations, you need to figure out how do you help them get to it can be done, because they already say, I'll prove they have the action, they have the commitment, but this on the commitment on the wrong side. Or do you have the people around you who are saying, well, I guess it can be done, but never for us. Not for me. It won't work for me. And again, I've seen so many leaders, successful leaders, in those first two groups. So if you're not there, if you kind of assessing yourself and see where you are in those four groups, if you're not in the first two, work towards it. How do I make myself someone who says, okay, It can be done. Either it can be done regardless, as long as there's not some sort of law of physics saying this can't be done. It can be done. Maybe I don't have the skill yet. Maybe I don't have the resources or the expertise or whatever it may be. Maybe I don't have that yet, but it can be done. And if it can be done, then we can figure this out. And the other one is, again, if you see someone else doing it, it can be done. So look, remember, it's not about whether something is hard or easy. It's about what needs to get done. Embrace challenges, grow through them, and support your team by acknowledging their efforts. Thank you again. This is Alex Tremble from the Executive Pill. If you found today's episode helpful, please do us a favor, share your thoughts, connect with me on LinkedIn. Make sure you click the share and all the like buttons. We really appreciate all of your effort and energy in keeping this community going. As always, I encourage you, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving. See ya.
Thanks for listening to The Executive Appeal with Alex Trumbull. I invite you to follow The Executive Appeal wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow me, your host, Alex Trumbull, across all socials or via email for exclusive webinars, courses, and speaking engagements on continued topics of executive leadership. So until next time, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.